The gold crisis in Albion is happening, and we could say we have seen this coming, but a lot of us didn't. So, fellow adventurers, a massive problem, the rise of the price of gold. Gold, for those of you who don't know, is the premium currency in Albion Online, and it can be bought for real world money to then be translated into silver or buying cosmetics. Now, there has been an interesting dynamic set by SBI where price of gold affects the price of in-game activities such as repairs, travel, and of course the items on the black market, and with the direct impact on the loot generated by the game. So, exploring these factors, we need to understand the host problem. It's the rising price is directly related to the in-game currency, as the gold is the premium currency, which as more people pay for the premium currency, the more the price will go up. And hence the value of silver is devaluated, and you need more silver to do basic in-game things, which results in people who do not have at much disposable income having to grind for 20, 30 hours to be able to do something as simple as getting 8.3 gear, where people who have disposable income, which is nothing wrong, can buy it for 20, $30. Now, the impact this is having on the game is that people are struggling. You're looking at a situation where those who can afford it are paying real world money, and the newer players who either don't know what's happening, the gatherers who are finding that their goods are suddenly becoming incredibly devalued. You're looking at a place where a fire staff, gathering the materials for a fire staff versus buying the materials of a fire staff is more worth it, but then it's not worth crafting it into the fire stuff because it's just worth selling the materials, as it only becomes worth it when you're doing 8.3. So in this, resources are becoming more expensive and less worth it. Loot is the best way forward. However, loot results in you having to engage in player versus player fighting, in having to go into black zones where you might lose your gear. And when you lose your 8.3 set, your first instinct is, let me buy more gold so I can buy another 8.3 set from players rather than grinding for it, because the grind is too long. And this is a feedback loop that results in more people using their card, swiping and paying and getting their gear with actual money rather than in-game money. With $100 or €100, you're looking at 83 million in-game silver, which, frankly speaking, is good to last you 3-4 months of in-game time. Now, that said, it's diminishing the ability of players to join the game. It's diminishing the ability of people who are new to the game to appreciate solo dungeons, to appreciate simple exploring the world, because all of a sudden there's no value left in it. There's only value in very small, specific secrets, like things that you discover as you play and I appreciate the game and as you level up, as that's where the money is. And people are struggling with this, and hence the new players which are joining the game might be leaving and affecting the game negatively, because frankly speaking, it's always fun to have more players join the game, as the more players that are playing, the more fun it is. We play this game to enjoy it with others, after all. Now, the root cause, as we discussed, is that it is a player-driven economy, and hence the player-driven economy does its best to benefit, and it's a capitalist system. It's purely capitalist. So people are going to make money to make money. They're going to use money to make money, and that's it. So people are not going to the black market. People are putting their materials on the actual market because it pays them more. Because to get to the black market is difficult. There's no good way of getting from Brishelen, the Mist City, to the black market at all, as this is in Carleon, and getting anything out of Brishelen is a headache and a half, let alone then traveling to red zones where you can lose all your material which you've already collected from black zones. It's just a massive problem. So people just, I myself included, sell the materials directly in Bristolin for an exceptionally elevated price, sometimes 30-40% higher than any other market in the game, because it's easier. It's absolutely easier. So the supply of in-game items that are being given back to the loot chests is decreasing ridiculously, whereas the price of gold is being inflated as more people are using actual money. Now, we're not here only to discuss what the problems are, but to also come up with solutions. And I thought of three solutions. The gold to silver ratio needs to be adjusted by the game. What do I mean by this? The gold to silver ratio was adjusted with a formula at the start of the game when it was launched in 2017, when it had a few 100,000 people playing the game actively. Now that has increased drastically. There are two servers and there are two different systems in place, and it is chaos because it hasn't been updated. It's been a long time, 6 years, and it has changed, and that's absolutely fine, but the adjustments need to happen to adjust for the fact that there has been a different amount of people playing back then versus now. This means that there needs to be fine-tuning by the developers. This brings its own plethora of problems, especially with their investors, because of course they're happy that more people are paying to use this free-to-play game and giving money to the developers. And there are implications that developers, the company itself, not getting the money it is. For example, with the amount of money it is, we're seeing an update every 3 months. If someone says, you know what, we're going to change it to make it more fun for people, it's going to end up being less than that. It's going to be like 6 months for development, a year between each update. But then there's the delicate balance that needs to be adjusted, where you have something that keeps people playing and constantly playing the game, whereas you have something that's making money. So it's a headache that I do not even want to think of, that the in-game people, the directors and the developers and the board are discussing behind the scenes. The second thing that could be done very easily and solve the problem overnight almost: create a black market in Bristolin. Create a black market in the Mist City. This would solve such an enormous problem. Right now, nothing's going to the black market. As to get to Carleon, it's a problem, as we established. So what do? Well, let's think smart. Create a mist black market, or a direct connection between Bristolin and Carleon. It's difficult to get to Bristolin. It's difficult to get to Carleon. It doesn't need to be doubly difficult to get from each city to one city to the other. They're both PvP hubs, and they should connect the PvP hubs together. And it, well, I say should, but I think they should. And it would create this incredible dynamic where people actually start selling to the black market again, and the rewards will start increasing drastically again for players, and everyone benefits from this. The gold prices still go up, but at a slower pace, so people are not just, it's not 3,900 today, next week it's 4,000, 4 weeks down the line it's 5,600, because that has been my experience in the past 2 months playing the game. And the last thing is, we need to be realistic about inflation with new content. Both from the developer side, they need to be understanding that once they create new content, there's going to be inflation. And once there's inflation, players need to understand it happening because of the new content. So if the more rewards you are getting, there's going to be inflation. So we need to be aware of this, and we need to appreciate that if we're getting new content, there's going to be inflation. There's going to be a massive rush where everyone's trying to benefit. And that's just absolutely okay. That's just absolutely normal. And we need to be aware of this. Price hikes will cause inflation to happen. Now, the rising crisis of gold in Albion Online provides a challenge for players. It has impacted the game economy. It has impacted people's ability to purchase premium with in-game currency, people purchasing premium in general. It has caused problems in terms of the black market, and it has caused just a generic plethora of complaints on every social media board I could see. Careful consideration from the developers can cause this to be fixed, but I think also from our side, as consumers of this amazing game, we need to chill down a bit. Adjusting the gold to silver ratio, introducing a new black market, and accounting for inflation when new content is released would create a more stable equilibrium, and an adjustment can happen. The adjustment initially will cause chaos, and that's absolutely understandable, but I think Albion Online will be better for it. Hope you enjoyed today's videos, adventurers. We explored the rising of gold, the crisis that were economical crisis in Albion Online, the recession you could call it, its impact on the game, and looked at potential solutions. Hope you found this discussion informative and insightful. If you do have suggestions and ideas, tell me down below. I am dying to hear your comments, and if you're still here, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and share it with your friends for more exciting content. Until next time, safe travels, happy gaming in the world of Albion. Bye bye.